Time for some Liga MX. Regular season coming to an end over the weekend. Here's some of the key results. America winning 2-1 over Puebla. They clinched first. Chivas won 1-0 over Atlas, a fifth straight win, moving them up into sixth place, which means automatic qualification for the quarterfinals, plus I lose a bet. Tigres and Rayados both rolled in their games. They'll face each other in one of the quarterfinals in the 4 versus 5 matchup. Cruz Azul 1-0 winners over Toluca. That was the 2 versus 3 game to end the regular season. Herc, why don't we start at the top of the table with Club America?
That's where you want to start? That's where you want to start?
That's not where I want to start. That's where production wants to start. That was not a set.
You mentioned the bet you lost.
That was not a set. Oh, we're going to get to that. We're going to give Chivas their flowers and you your money in just a second. But what do you think of Club America's chances to win the double? Would you go as far as to say they are the clear favorite, as it mentions there on the lower third?
I do not think they're clear favorites.
Would you say favorite?
I do not think they are the...
There it is.
Here it is. Let me tell you why my
Who's
only
favorite
hesitation.
over them in Liga MX?
Let me tell you my only hesitation here.
Okay.
Let's start with the most immediate, which would be the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Games are tomorrow and Wednesday.
Yep.
They're going to play against Pachuca, who's been a thorn in their side,
of
a
course.
rock in their shoe. They lose that, they're over.
Okay.
It's over. There is no, hey, are they the favorites to win the double talk?
Okay.
No, it's over. It's that simple.
Same for everybody else this week, but...
Correct. But they have history when it comes to Pachuca, a history of being eliminated in elimination games against Pachuca. Recent history, long history, whatever you want. And if they get past this, and we're going to talk about Pachuca in a second, but let's say they get past Pachuca, they could potentially see Pachuca again, that same thorn, or they could see Pumas, which kind of did a little blueprint on how teams should face America. They could see them again in Liguilla. So based off those two teams, I would say, man, if it wasn't for those two teams being in their road, any other team, I'd say they're clear-cut.
But they're the number one seed. Why are we looking at the teams in their road?
Because it matters how you get there, and they've not looked like the number one seed as of late, and that is clear. That is evident. That's why I wouldn't go as far as to say Club America. And I also wouldn't go as far as to say Rayados either, because Rayados is the only team in this competition that is actually down a goal heading into the second leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And guess who they're going to have to play in Liguilla? They're going to have to play against Tigres, who they don't want to see. And I'll get into that in a second. And then you look at the other side of that, Pachuca is just as bad. Pachuca's calendar, they're going to have to play on Tuesday, CONCACAF Champions Cup. They're going to have to play on Thursday, the play-in game. If they lose that game, they're going to have to play on Sunday. If they win that game, they'll have to play midweek again. It's ridiculous what's going on with Pachuca. So I'll go as far as say the only team.
Don't leave yourself in the play-in game.
The only team that I have trust in that I'd say I don't have any qualms in saying it's close to happening would be in the whole CONCACAF Champions Cup competition, Columbus. The Columbus Crew are the only team that I could sit here and say, yeah, I could seriously see that double happening.
Really?
I
You
can't
think
see
Columbus
America
today
right
is
now
closer to winning their league than America is to winning their league?
because of Pachuca and Pumas. And I know you hate that. I know you hate that. But I don't like the matchup. If America played against Cruz Azul, played against Toluca, I would say that's a matchup that I think America steamrolls them in, like they've done, like they've proven. But when it comes to Pachuca, there's something about Pachuca. When it comes to Pumas, this Pumas, who it's a clásico, and they'll play in Mexico City. There's something about that where I think I just don't like that for them. I don't like this for America. So I don't like the chances of any Liga MX team winning that double. But maybe I do for Columbus Crew winning the double. Maybe
I like America's chances. One with Pachuca, we've said this before. You have to go away sometimes and get a result. They're going to have to do it against Pachuca. I know that there's history there, but I'm not going to sweat over that, especially when Pachuca has all that could be coming, right? They've got obviously Thursday, which is a guarantee, potentially the game on the weekend, potentially another game after that. Plus, they're coming off a not very impressive performance in the regular season finale against Mazatlán. No, that was important. That was important for my primo, who had the over in that game and was very disappointed. And also picked Salomon Rondon as an anytime goal scorer and was very disappointed.
So he played like, what, 20 minutes?
Pachuca doesn't necessarily scare me from Club America. And then you look beyond that. It's a one-off in the final. You got Crew or you got
Pachuca
Rayados.
Doesn't scare
No,
you.
America's a favorite, dude. America's a favorite. I respect Pachuca, but I'm not going to sit here and say America aren't the favorite in every game left in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And even at Herc, if I look at Liguilla, you're talking to me about worrying about the 1 versus the 8. I'm not even thinking about that as the America fan. Of course, you got to respect whoever's in front of you.
Okay.
I'm thinking more about who have we always said are the real threats to America? Tigres and Rayados. And one of them, Herc, is
Really?
going home in the quarterfinals.
No.
Yeah, if we talk about Liga MX on a grand scale, what was the conversation we were having before the season?
That's
it's a
different.
three-horse race.
It's a three-horse race.
So when I talk about the
But that's
rosters
Liga
that
MX.
when I talk about
you're not saying quién es amenaza
but one of the
para
biggest
América.
threats
Who's the threat to
is
América.
going
different.
out in the
That is
quarterfinals,
different.
guaranteed.
Any Americanista
How can I
will
not feel
tell you-
good?
Any Americanista will tell you they'd rather play against Tigres than Pachuca. That's a fact, right? Guess what? It could be Pachuca.
Okay. But I don't fear Pachuca more than you want me to say I fear Pachuca from a historical sense.
No.
The reality
From what you saw a couple of days
the reality
ago.
says that America is much.
What
If
you
you
saw
want to
last
go
week.
off history, America has no problem with Tigres, right? If you want to go off history.
Yeah.
I would much rather play Pachuca in that sense. I would
All
much
right.
rather play
All
Pachuca.
right. Well, we could double that bet if you'd like.
Ooh, speaking of bets,